I'll be right back. Thought I was gonna leave. I ain't gonna leave. I'm gonna be right here with you. Because life is showing us that it's time for us to stand together and get together and be about each other's business. Because, y'all, did y'all see this? You see that? That's a recruiting flyer by the Trinity White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. They calling for, they say a tri-state. They don't even know what tri means. It was 3. They say tri-states, and they list the realm of Indiana and a phone number. The realm of Kentucky and a phone number. The realm of Ohio and a phone number. And so I guess they do know that. I thought I saw Pennsylvania on there too. Evidently I didn't. Sometimes my eyes go bad. But they're calling a 3-state conclave, as they're calling it, to organize for the Klan. And y'all know that the Klan is about harming Africans here in America. And that's not to say to get scared, buck 'em. They can't whip us. But is to say to be aware of what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? And even when they catch us by ourselves, and most of the time that's not in our best interest, they tend to harm us even to death when they catch us by ourselves. But when they catch us together, and we don't even have to be organized. You see how it happened there in Alabama when they jumped on the brother, and we came up out of the stands, all of them moved. So it ain't about being scared, but it is about being prepared because, and I've said this before, it reminds me of when the Israelite children were coming out of Egypt from under that oppression. If someone jumped on them, and they were together, they would beat them, but they had to get together, and they was asking for a leader. We could have one, really need to have one, but right now there's not one, and there's brothers vying to give us the mentality that we need to stand together. I mean, I really like them brothers that done took over the governments in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Shoot, the cat in Burkina Faso, now they making their own car. Shoot, I like that. And they ain't scared. They done ran the white boy out. They done ran France out. They done ran the U.S. out. And that mentality is reproducing itself. Is causing an epidemic to where other brothers are saying, no, we don't need y'all to do what we need to do. We'll make our own car. Keep your car. And the car that you making yours out of, you got to have the stuff that we got here to make it. perspective that is pro-us, which has been labeled pro-African, then shit, we take our rightful place in the world order of things. But you know, this is pre-Ajabu Speaks, and I'm gonna get into Ajabu Speaks because I got to make this happen. Don't go nowhere. I'm coming back to you. But listen to this. Welcome. For those who don't know, this is Elder Amoja Ajabu, your host for Ajabu Speaks. And this program is a Pan-African program. It looks at world developments from a Pan-African perspective. So that doesn't mean that it's going to line up with America's perspective or China's perspective or Germany's perspective. No, it's going to come up with a perspective of Africans who are looking at the world in a position that what is best for us. What is best for us. And in looking at that, you know, we do an analysis. We analyze world developments. And your host, Elder Ajabu, is unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. This program, I'm not really trying to get you or tell you how to think or what to think. I am teaching on how to think, but I'm not telling them what to think. I'll let you draw your conclusion, but I want to give you something to think about from a Pan-Africanist point of view, to where it's that we understand where we are in this world. And one of the things that I want to talk about, a few things, is one is that plane crash over there in Washington D.C. Because you look at folks trying to tell you what to think. I'm gonna talk to you about how to think, and in talking about that, you know, I'm gonna deal with this DEI thing: diversity, equity, and inclusion. And let me get into it, and I got to talk about the new Black Panther Party newspaper. And the article that I've written in there concerning how Fred Hampton's lawyer treated him and his family. Y'all buckle up, for somebody it's going to be a rough ride. But when I look at that helicopter plane crash in Washington, D.C., I see that duck, and y'all know duck, walk like a duck, talk like a duck, look like a duck. You got Donald Duck. I'm talking about Duck. Y'all, and Duck done got in front of the international media and held a press conference to say that that was tragic. He started out with, let's have a moment of silence. Then after the moment of silence, he said, it's a tragedy that crash, that helicopter ran into that plane. And I think it's because that we're having diversity and equity and inclusion hiring, because I look at the hiring of language or marketing of the FAA, the Federal Aviation Association, and they're saying that they're looking for people that has certain qualities that's not based on their ability to do the job, but are based on the actuality of their life, whether they have been handicapped. What does he say? That the person has or suffers from severe intellectual disabilities, and has psychic problems, or been known to have psychic and other mental and physical conditions. And this is what he's taken out of the hiring literature of the FAA. And I would say really that if they're hiring people like that can't do the job, and I'm not opposed to people like that having a job, but when you're talking about the lives of people that are flying around in planes over the country, you can't have someone that can't do the job in the job because it costs people's life. And with Duck making that point, I agree with that concerning air traffic controllers. That don't mean that somebody like that can't do a job. But don't have them up there doing the job, and if they make a mistake, it can cause people's life. But Duck is making that point, but he's making that point when there is no evidence that that is the case. Now, what he don't know is when he raises the diversity, equity, inclusion, then actually what he's raising is a race issue, because all of that came out of the struggles of people with African heritage, meaning you, who were stolen from the African continent and enslaved here in America. All of that comes on this DEI. All of that comes from that suffering, to where it's that they're saying, okay, the society treated you like that. It's time for the society to treat you differently, and to move the society to treat you differently, we're going to come up with these DEI programs. And I make the argument that the DEI came out basically from 1965. You can even go to 1964 with the Civil Rights Act, but the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which directly pointed to that the ability to vote was denied people of African heritage just because we were of African heritage. And I would say that that was a giant step, a primary step of moving toward diversity, equity, and inclusion. But what has happened is they have been slick and don't really want to address the issue. So they say and sell that they're going to address the issue, but instead of addressing the issue, which to the people that paid the price for the issue to be addressed, they include a whole bunch of other people. And then when you look at the statistics, according to the Department of Labor, the biggest recipients of DEI in order is white women at the head. And then Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, individuals and disabilities, veterans, gay folks, and the last people on the left that benefit are people of African heritage, who were the ones that paid the price for the program to come into existence. What sense that make? This is the reason why I push that we should not tie, and when I talk about we, I'm talking about people of African heritage. I'm talking about that we should not lump our issue in America with everybody else's issue, because it gives them opportunity to do for everybody else more so than what they do for us. It does not tell it intelligent. If you look at that from a Pan-African perspective, then that's not good for our people, and we should quit doing things that are not good for our people. But Doug didn't know that that was the issue that he was being raised, but this is what I'm telling you about. I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but I am trying to show you how to think, to where it's that you think your way out of this madness that we find ourselves and start doing things that are pro us instead of supporting things that they say is pro us and everybody else benefit but us. But let me get back. Let me get back to this plane. Cause Duck don't know. Even though he's blaming it on DEI, he has not presented any evidence that shows that the person that was hired by FAA and was in the control tower that saw this helicopter getting ready to hit this plane. There is no evidence that that person was a DEI hire that he's presented and nobody else can find. And it might come out that that's the case, but the point is he don't know that. He's trying to make you think that. And I'm saying that he might be trying to make you think that as a diversion from what we know. What are you talking about, Elder? I'm saying that we know that the helicopter, the pilot of the helicopter ran into the plane, flew the helicopter into the plane. We know that. We know that the person that was in the tower saw the helicopter going toward the plane and asked the pilot of the helicopter, "Hey, do you see that plane out there?" And the guy, the pilot, radio back, "Yeah, I see him." And he didn't take evasive action. He said he saw the plane, and some people are trying to say that it might not have been the plane that the controller was talking about, and that may be, but you don't know that from his language and from the plane that the controller was talking about. The pilot of the chopper helicopter responded that he saw the plane that the controller was talking about, and why wouldn't he? I mean, you headed straight for a big old plane, a plane that can carry 70 people and a crew. This is not a drone. This is a plane, a big one. And you flying around in a vehicle that's basically a piece of glass, well, ceramic, whatever they make helicopters out of, but basically it's clear. I've been in one. I've been in a few. In the cockpit. And it's you see everything around you. It's clear. But so why wouldn't the pilot see that big old plane that he's approaching? And then look, you done said you saw it. I'd have to assume that you did see it because it's right there. And you see it. And you got the capability in a chopper. If you see it, you can stop in midair. The helicopter hovered, you know, the plane, it can't stop in there. It got to keep on moving because it uses the air to keep itself buoyed. A helicopter uses its rotors, its fans to keep itself in air, and so it can hover. So the pilot of a chopper, you got the capability to stop the vehicle in mid-air, the chopper in mid-air, and you don't do it, and you run straight into the plane. It looks like you done it on purpose to me. I mean, why would someone intentionally run into the plane? And then I can't ignore, this is a military plane. This is a soldier that's flying this plane. And on the heels of recent history, soldiers have become upset with carrying out America's policies, to where that they say, you done use me to carry out that policy, I will embrace an ideology against that what you said that you had me doing, and will cause me to take a car, rent a car, take a car, drive it up a street in New Orleans, Louisiana, and kill people, just run over people. This is a soldier who done that. This is the evidence of what I'm talking about. I mean, it even goes further. You got a soldier in Las Vegas, a decorated soldier, a Green Beret, a career soldier, who rents a car that was designed by Elon Musk, who is a almost right-hand man, look like now, to duck, and then the soldier takes the car, Elon's car, runs it up under the awning of a hotel owned by a duck, and blows it up. And before he blows himself up, he shoots himself in the head and leaves a note saying, I've done this because I'm sick and tired of killing people for America and seeing my fellow Green Berets killed for America's policy. And in order to let y'all know I'm tired, I'm going to take this vehicle that was designed by Elon Musk and run it up into a hotel that's owned by Duck to let y'all know I'm sick and tired of it. So why, on this recent history, why shouldn't we contemplate that this soldier that was flying this helicopter, is he thinking like that? Has his carrying out America's policy caused him to move the killing on the ground, the killing on the street in New Orleans, and in the street in Las Vegas? Has he decided to move it off the street and take it to the air? I'm telling y'all, I'm unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt-naked truth. Why aren't we contemplating that? Why isn't the investigation that? Why is the investigation from what they're telling us in the media and Duck is fueling, because I think that he might be trying to cover something up. Because if you're going to do an investigation, you know that it was the pilot that ran into the plane, that flew into the plane. Why not do an intense investigation on him? And when a reporter asked the FAA, well, where did the chopper take off from? Well, we're not sure. You're not sure? I mean, as strict as the... look, it's a supposedly a training operation. If it's a training operation, then the Army lays out step by step by step of what you're supposed to do in order to complete successfully the training. And so it's documented, it's laid out. The question becomes, did the pilot of the helicopter deviate from what the training said what he was supposed to do? You can't even tell us where he took off from. Surely the training tells you to take off from this spot. And when you take off from this spot, use this path. And when you use this path, make sure that you are accomplishing these goals, so that when you come back and you lay down or you sit down on the spot from where you started the training, we can give you a good grade. We're saying that you're qualified to go on. Surely they got all of that. And now you're going to tell me that you don't know where he started from? What kind of training is that? Did he start from an unknown place which would then again say that he is deviating from the training, which means that he might have been on a mission to do what he did. And I'm not saying that's the case, but as an investigation, we know that he is the one that ran into the plane. And then, after saying that he saw it, after the controller asked him, man, do you see that? And after responding, yes, I see it, he ran straight into it. Damn. I'm saying, shouldn't that be looked at? I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but I am trying to tell you how to think. If you want to learn certain things about what has happened, one thing for sure is you can't let somebody make you your eyes be a lie. And you saw, like I saw, that helicopter flew straight into that plane. It didn't try to go up. It didn't try to go down. It didn't try to go around. It went straight through that plane, or straight to that plane. Like look, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what it looked like to me. And whether it was or not, I think that that's the first thing that needs to be determined. What was in the mind? What can we look at? What facts are there that gives us a window into the thinking of the pilot? And I'm saying that if you don't know where he took off from, that's an indication that he wasn't doing what you wanted him to do, and surely you didn't want him to fly into the plane. What you wanted him to do was fly into the plane. But if you don't know what his thinking is, maybe it was his thinking that I am going to fly into that plane for whatever reason. And being a soldier and understanding what happened in New Orleans and what happened in Las Vegas, it's a possibility that there's a school of thought that's brewing within the United States military, to where soldiers are saying, I'm sick and tired of carrying out America's policy that causes me to be the type of person that kills people so that we can steal their stuff. I'm sick and tired of that. Is that what's going on? I'm saying it needs be looked at. Now, I also want to deal with the New Black Panther paper, the article that I wrote in the New Black Panther paper. And in that article, and it's a good paper too, I read it all. And they call it the eye of the Panther. And in there, did you know, they got an article by myself on an analysis, and the information comes from a book by a lawyer, white Jew, who actually was at one time a lawyer for Chairman Fred, and the woman got on me. He didn't call his title. There's no disrespect. I hold Fred Hampton Sr. in the highest respect, the highest regard. He gave his life trying to make sure that DEI was a reality. He didn't call it DEI back then, but that's what he was talking about. Us being free, us taking our rightful place in the world order of things, us stopping the oppression that we've been experiencing here in America ever since we've been here. I hold that man in highest respect. And if I don't call him chairman, that is not a disrespect on my part. That is recognizing the man of his accomplishments, not by his title. I don't care what title he is. I'm talking about what he done. And you might say, well, because of what he done, you should call him by the title. That may be. Now that may be. But what I'm telling you, don't look at me writing that article thinking that I was trying to in some way disrespect Fred Hampton. Are you kidding? A man that's looking at world developments from a Pan-African perspective would have the audacity to do something respectful or disrespectful to what Fred Hampton has done. No, that ain't what we doing. That ain't what I'm doing. You know, and sister was taking me to task about that on Facebook. But see, what she don't know, and I'm trying to find out, there's a lot of things that she don't know, is that Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and I have had extensive conversation about that book, face to face. If y'all gonna get this, y'all gonna have to tune to my webpage, which is www.ajabuspeaks.squarespace.com. Again, that's www.ajabuspeaks.squarespace.com. And I'll finish this on out. But you can listen to Ajabu speak, excuse me, every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on 91.9 FM here in Indianapolis on the FM dial. Or if you're anywhere else in the world, you can listen, because we stream live at www.919witt.org. I say again, that's www.919 919 WITT.org. If you want to get the rest of what I'm going to say about that article and this conversation with Sister concerning the article, go to www.ajabuspeaks.squarespace.com. Unbolt, unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. You know I ain't got but one question for you. Are you ready? Really? What? So how come I ain't got all of it? How come it's not all there? Alright. I got caught up in the technical stuff. But let me finish this. So what the sister doesn't know is that I have had a conversation, extensive conversation, with Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. about that book written by Haas. And I mean, he took me to task. You know, because at the time that I engaged him, I just started reading the book. And he was asking me things about the book that I would have known and that I do know now if I had read the book, that I couldn't really intelligently respond to. And so he took me to task, and rightfully so. I didn't buck. I listened to him, and I mean now he's 20 years my junior, but he's telling me about this book, and he made mention, Sister Tanisha, he made mention that the book was unauthorized by his organization, the Panther Cubs, and I respect that. I'm not trying to tell anybody that, and especially him and his family, to accept anything in their organization that they deem to be unacceptable. But that doesn't stop someone that is not within the organization from reading whatever. And so I read it. And when I read it, it helped me to understand better on why Chairman Fred Jr. was so upset that I had raised the book in an event that they were hosting, because that book was persona non grata in their venue, and I understand that now. He was upset with the way that the author of the book, Jeffrey Haas, had treated his family. I understand that very well now. I didn't really understand that then. And that's the reason why I shut up and listen to him tell me why his family did not appreciate that book, and the reason why his organization had banned that book. Said that it's not authorized, and I accept that. But in reading the book, I understood that Jeffrey Haas had actually not only used the Hampton family, but had benefited greatly off of it, and was complicit in letting her hand, the prosecutor and the police and the United States government get away with the murder of his father. I understood it after reading the book, and I wrote an article on it so that you could have the benefit of what is said in the book, how Jeffrey Haas exposes himself, tells on himself, says that he was a co-conspirator that aided in the assassins of Chairman Fred Sr. He was complicit in allowing them to get away with it, not to be held accountable. And he knew it. Excuse me. He knew it. And that's what the article is about. Now, if there's something in that analysis, and I quote verbatim the passages out of the book, where is that he's telling on himself, so that we know that just because someone comes to us as a friend, that don't necessarily mean that they are. Sometimes they be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And especially them lawyers, they be the enemy in the camp. And I was exposing how that was historically done to our brother Fred Hampton Sr. And come to find out that, and I know that the sister don't know that Chairman Fred Jr. and I have discussed this extensively. She couldn't know that. Well, she couldn't know it if she was there, but I don't know if she was there or not. She doesn't allude to herself being there. And I also, what she don't know, when the article was written, I texted to Chairman Fred Jr. so that he was aware that the article was done. He didn't respond negatively or positive. And he has responded when I have shared with him the situation that was going on with my son, our attempts to get clemency for my son. And he texted back, "Thanks. Appreciate it. Got it." He didn't say anything. And the opportunity for him to say anything is there. Respond to it. If it's incorrect, point it out. Don't say that it shouldn't be. If it's incorrect, sharpen. Sharpen. Let's work together. Sharpen. And let's quit. And this is my main beef, Tanisha. We keep finding opportunity to bump heads, and it gets in the way of, even prevents us from being able to fight a common enemy, a cat that's trying to harm us both. The same cat that sold Fred Hampton Sr. out. There's more of them out here like that. And they organizing. You saw this. They organizing. They can't beat us, but they're still organizing. And an organized problem has an organized solution. You can't solve an organized problem in an unorganized way. And we should be organizing, but instead of us organizing, we're talking about a title that we want to be referred to, or somebody wants to be referred to, and the perimeter is being breached. That makes sense to me. And we got to get past that. And you're not the only one. Too many of us do that. We can't work together because this one did that. And see, ain't nobody perfect. We're going to make errors. In some other areas, you would say, well, man, that shouldn't be. I can't work with you. Well, we shouldn't let someone make an error unless it costs us some lives. But they make an error that don't cost us any lives. And we treat it as an error to us that we can't work with them. And the people that are trying to take our lives are able to take our lives because we didn't work with each other. It don't make sense. That's not good thinking. And so as an elder, I'm speaking up, speaking out, and sharing. Trying to develop, trying to mold, because, you know, shit, 76 years old. Somebody got to take up the mantle, and take up the mantle with right thinking. We can't keep bumping heads with each other so that we don't address this common enemy that's coming at us. They organizing. Unbossed, unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the butt naked truth. You ready? Really?